Welcome back to the Adventures with Sara P podcast. I'm your host, Sara P, a 19-year-old girl trying to figure out this whole adulting thing through life's adventures. It is currently the middle of finals week, and life has been going actually pretty good. I have taken one of three finals, and it went okay. I thought I did better than what I got, but it's fine. We got two more exams. One of them I'm a lot more nervous for than the other, and that one's not till Friday. And so we got time. It's currently Wednesday. It will be fine. We have some time to study. I'm not too worried about it. But I wanted to talk to you today about adventures and feeling good. I have my handy dandy journal, and I have some things that have helped me feel extra good recently. It's just been finals week, and so I have been super fixated on studying for finals, making sure all my work is getting done. Oh, I do have a paper that I need to turn in today. So there is that. But I am just, last week we talked about feeling super stressed and overwhelmed going into finals week. And now being in finals week, I didn't really need to stress that much. It's fine. I will say though that I'm not feeling super sick or anything. I will say my nose is a little runny, but that's because it snowed. I would just like to share, I have been going to Towson now. This is my sophomore year, and last year it did not snow once. And yesterday I woke up and there was snow on the ground, and that was just super fun and like super nice to wake up to. But anyway, last week super stressed. This week not super stressed, and I'm feeling good. And I still haven't taken my finals. And so I wanted to share how I've been able to kind of change that mindset and be able to kind of lean more towards to having that positive mindset. So here is my list of things that might help you. They've helped me. Last week I talked a lot about to-do list. I stand by to-do list. I have ever since I was little, I've always made a to-do list, and I just stand by it. So highly recommend that. I have my to-do list on my computer, and I try and keep one in my brain, but my brain one never works. So definitely keep one on a sticky note, on your phone, in your notes app, on your laptop, whatever you need to do, whatever is best for you. Highly recommend. For me, I keep mine on my laptop. I think I talked about this last week. It's a little sticky note on my laptop, on the home screen, and it's not the sticky note app by Apple. It's another rinky-dink little app, but I really like it because it's transparent, so you can see it, and it doesn't affect the vibe of whatever background you have, which is really nice. So I highly recommend that. Next on my list, I have prioritizing yourself. Super, super important, especially when it comes to honestly everything, but especially when you're not feeling good and you're feeling stressed. Definitely prioritizing yourself. For me, I will say this again and again and again, getting good sleep, super important, especially with finals. I have mentioned before, but I am definitely a morning person, and I wasn't always a morning person, so I'm not really sure how I got into that. I think being in college, I've just realized that I have a lot more energy in the morning to be productive than I do at night. So as the day goes on, the energy in my tank just skyrockets down. And so that's why I don't take any night classes, because I would have no energy and I'd fall asleep. So I definitely would say I'm more of a morning person. So for me, even if you're not, even if you're a night owl, still getting good sleep, not just sleep, but getting good sleep is super important. And so when you're sick, you have to take the NyQuil, knock yourself out, because you just can't sleep when you're sick. It sucks. But then when you're not sick, I recommend drinking tea. So I have a sleep tea. It's from I've seen it at Walmart and Target. Mine's from Target, and it just helps me go to bed so much faster. No idea what is in it, and I know you're supposed to read the ingredients to things before you put them in your body. I don't, and I probably should, but it does help me go to bed. So there is that option. You could also look into, I think, meditation. There are some meditations that help people go to sleep faster. So whatever you need to do to get good sleep, highly recommend it. I know last year it was super hard being in the dorm and having a roommate and sleeping in the same room as someone, especially when you're sick, super awkward. But trying to navigate around that. So like when I did have a roommate, I would always sleep with an eye mask on. And I feel like I did like other things. Like sometimes I put in earplugs or like headphones to try and like drown out the noise so I could go to bed faster. So stuff like that. But definitely get good sleep, because I feel like every time I wake up and I've had good sleep, I wake up in a good mood. Or then after I do that, I always make my bed. So like feeling productive in the morning, once I make my bed, I'm like, oh, that's already something I get to check off like my to-do list. And then for that's not on my laptop to-do list, it's in my head to-do list, because it's like routine, like I always do it in the morning. But next we have staying active, especially in finals week. Our practices are not mandatory, they are optional. And so obviously too, like for diving, it's kind of tricky because we only have practice from 9 to 11:30, because that's the only time the pool's open for us, because we have to take the lane lines out and use like the diving boards, and we don't have a diving well, so our diving boards are in the same pool as like the swimmers. And so for swimming, it's a little bit different. They have to, I think, go to one practice either in the morning or in the afternoon. But for them, it's different because they almost always have, I think, 2-a-days. And so like they always have that pool or that time reserved at the pool. And then as well as they can do open swim. So we have like open swim at Towson, and it's where you can like swim laps whenever. So it's a little bit different for them. But for us, it's actually optional. And then we also have lift, which is optional. And I have been going to that, and it's just been super awkward because we normally lift in like a group of 30, and it's been like 2 of us. Super weird vibe. But staying active, I think, is super important. So if that means going to the gym and like lifting weights, I think I want to go to the gym and like walk on like the stair stepper or like the treadmill or something and just like get moving. I do like so badly want to go on a walk outside, but as I mentioned, it did snow, so probably not the smartest idea if I want to stay healthy. But just getting up and moving. I know I've talked a lot about this before, but when you're studying and stuff like that, just like getting up and like taking breaks to just even like get up and move, just trying not to be on your phone as much. So definitely recommend staying active, whatever that looks like for you. If that means just getting up in between studying sessions, or if you're, what I'm really looking forward to is after finals on Friday, I get to go home. And so I'm really looking forward to just sitting on the couch and being a couch potato. But even during that, I definitely want to like get up, go to the kitchen, walk around the house a few times, and like, stay active. Because I feel like for sitting, like if you sit for too long, your like body just like decomposes, and I just feel like a rotting tomato. And so I like to like get up and move. So I'm really looking forward to being at home though, and just staying on the couch and like getting up whenever I feel like I need to and staying active. But I will say I do always feel good when I like move around and like get up and move. Like if I've been like laying in my bed for too long, or if I've been like sitting for too long, just getting up and moving always makes me feel good. So whatever that looks like for you, I think I'm actually going to go to the gym and go walk on the treadmill. But whatever staying active looks like for you, highly recommend. It always makes me feel good. Next, we have eat well. I think this is super important because I may not read the labels of the ingredients of my food. And I know my teammate Haley's going to like talk to me about this at our next practice, but I don't. I am a vegetarian, so I do know when something is not meat and when something is meat. I do look for that, but I don't really like read the ingredients on labels. And so what I mean by this is, by eating well, I don't mean like change your diet and eat like only like fruits that have like no added sugar. Like I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, what eating healthy for me, I always have to have a dessert after my dinner. It is just like become a thing for me. I just need dessert after dinner. So what I mean when I say eat healthy or eat well, whatever that looks like for you. Like I'm not telling you, please try a vegetarian diet. Like no, if you want to eat meat, go ahead and do it. That's fine. Personally, I don't. And so I don't want you to change your diet to try and do what I'm doing, because I'm fueling my body for something completely different than you are. What I mean by this is just like giving your body the nutrients it needs to like feel good. So when I wake up in the morning, I normally have the same thing for breakfast, oatmeal and a banana. And so like when my body gets that like food that it's like used to, that like nutrients it's used to, it feels good after. And then like in the afternoon when I'm starting to get hungry for lunch, like my tank is so low. I think because I eat more of a lighter breakfast, and so I have a lot going on. Like I normally have practice and class, So when I get to lunch, like my body is like dead. So it needs those nutrients to feel good. So I normally have like a PB&J to get some protein. So eating well and eating healthy looks different for everybody. And I just really want to emphasize that, because if you don't want to be vegetarian, I like don't want you to do that. It's been my diet for the past 10 years. So it's all that I kind of know. And so what I mean by this is just fueling your body in the way that it needs to be fueled. If you want chocolate milk, like go drink your glass of chocolate milk. Like the other day we were having like a little get together for the team, and I so badly wanted a Wawa milkshake, like the chocolate one where you can like taste the chocolate, like I think it might be chocolate chips, but like you can just taste them. Oh my God, it's so good. And so someone was like, oh my gosh, do you guys want to go to Wawa? And I was like contemplating. I was like, do I go to Wawa and do I get the extra calories in this milkshake, or do I not do it and I keep craving this milkshake until I get one? And so I was kind of like, well, I'm just going to go now and get the milkshake because that's just what my body was craving. And so personally, when I say eat healthy, I kind of just mean when your body tells you it wants something, just give it that, because if you don't, you're going to be craving whatever it is for a while. And until you fuel your body with whatever it's craving, it's not going to go away. And I've learned that. So there's my tip to you. Eat whatever your body is telling you to eat. That's how I always feel. Well, that's not always how I feel good, but when I feel good, that's normally attributed to it. Next, we have staying hydrated. I feel so much better when I drink a lot of water. And I have been struggling with this during finals week because my schedule's off. And so whenever my schedule changes and it's not consistent, I forget to drink water. And so what I've been doing is I've been having a glass of tea in the morning, and I've been having mint tea because my body has been craving that, and I don't really know why. But any way that you can get water, I think is super important, especially because water just makes you feel good. It makes your skin look better. It just like overall makes you feel good. So if you need to have like the water bottle that like lists when to drink water and like when to drink it by, if you know what I'm talking about, it's that huge water bottle, and it says like 7 a.m. drink here, 8 a.m. drink here, and it has like the times of the day. Do that if you need that. But I have one water bottle right now, and she does not have that. So I kind of just my goal is to drink 2 of her a day. I know you're supposed to have, I think, 3 glasses of like 32-ounce water bottles a day. Actually, that might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what our nutritionist said. You might want to fact check that because I don't know if that's right. But I try and have 2 32-ounce water bottles a day. And during finals week, I've noticed I've only been having 1. But once I pair my glass of tea, well, actually, I think I've been having 2 glasses of tea a day, 1 in the morning and 1 at night, because I've been trying to get that good sleep from my sleep tea. So I'll have my 1 32-ounce water bottle, and then I'll have, I think it's 16 ounces of tea, I think. So then whatever the math is for that, I think that actually ends up being 2 32 ounces of water. So that's like what I normally have. But anyway, back to the point, is just drinking water. I've noticed that when I drink a lot of water, I feel a lot better. When I'm sick, when I'm healthy, when I'm feeling down, like give me water and I just feel so much better. Especially like when you wake up in the morning and you have like that like morning taste in your mouth, like chugging water just makes me feel so good. So highly recommend that. Staying hydrated. The next thing on here is managing stress. I think for me during finals week, like my stress level is just through the roof, and for no reason. Like if you take a step back and you kind of just like look at what's going on in your life, you can kind of like look at it like one bite at a time. If you know the saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's kind of what you have to do when you're stressed, but especially for like me during finals week, I just have to take a step back and really analyze this situation. And how I'm able to do that, like, is I feel like through managing my stress is just taking everything that I have to do for the week or everything that I have to do for finals, and I just start doing it like one assignment at a time, but definitely prioritize, because you don't want to do the one assignment that's due Friday when you have an assignment due today. and you haven't done that assignment because you were doing the one on Friday. So with that, you got to be a little strategic. But when you're struggling to do that for managing stress, I recommend taking deep breaths and kind of just like focusing on your breathing so you're not focused on being stressed. I found that's helped. I'm thinking back to last year when I would call my mom crying because I'm like, Mom, there's too much going on. Finals are stressing me out. And she'd be like, okay, Sarah, like just take a breath. I'll walk you through this step by step and we'll get through it. And so I highly recommend doing that. And now I've been able to do that on my own. And now I don't have to call my mom crying for her to help me walk through this. I've been able to do it on my own. And I've been able to do that through taking deep breaths, writing it down like on a sticky note or just in like my calendar and having when the assignments are due and then trying to prioritize which ones I need to get done. So highly recommend that. But with that, I also think yoga has played a role into that. And I'm actually getting tested tomorrow and I'm a wee bit nervous. I taught my first class by myself and it went well. And so I'm just like really nervous to get tested, I guess, like examined. I don't know the right term to use, but I did get my calendar approved to teach classes. Again, don't know the right terminology yet, but to do that next semester on Sundays, and I'm super excited about that. But picking up a hobby that brings you joy, I think is super important, and being able to manage your stress. I love yoga for this reason because I feel like it really you get to take your mind out of it and you're kind of just doing movements, focusing on your breath, not really worried about anything else going on in the world or in your life or really anything. You're really just focused on breathing. And so I think finding a hobby that brings you joy is something that makes me feel good and helps me manage my stress. So maybe it's not yoga because for me, for a while, I just couldn't do yoga. I was like, it's too slow. I can't do it. But then I found vinyasa yoga, which is more like upbeat, faster paced. And I really enjoy that. But that could look like reading, or it could look like painting or drawing or something else that might bring you joy. That's also, I feel like, able to help you focus in and help you manage that stress. The next thing I have on here is setting goals. For me, I try and finish an assignment the day before it's due. So my paper is due tomorrow, which is Thursday, and I am hoping to turn it in tonight, so it's like the day before. But I just need to run through it with my mom really fast to make sure I don't have any grammar issues because I can't spell. So she's gonna help me with that. Thanks, Mom. So just setting goals for yourself. I think it's super important when you feel good to have big goals and small goals, especially if you're not feeling good and you want to feel good. Setting those small goals that you can achieve, where it's like making your bed or finishing an assignment, something like that. And then the bigger goals being like, I mean, it's kind of different for everyone. Like you can have long-term goals that are big goals, or you could have short-term goals that are like big goals. So like, I don't know, like a long-term big goal would be like saving up for a house or a car. And like a short-term big goal would be like, for me, like all I can think of right now is finishing that paper. So like finishing an assignment like that. And then I think I just said finishing an assignment for a short-term goal. And like that could look like taking a quiz versus taking a test. So like the short-term goal could be like taking a quiz. The long-term goal could be like taking a test, because we all know we study a lot more for a test than we do a quiz most of the time, because exams are worth more than quizzes. So stuff like that, just setting goals for yourself. I think it's super important to feel like when you're feeling good or when you're not feeling good and you're trying to feel good, setting those like little goals for yourself so you have like something that like makes you feel good once you accomplish it. So like not like setting the bar low, but like, you know, like I feel so much better when I make my bed in the morning and I like come home and I'm like, oh, my bed's made. But when I don't make my bed in the morning, it's normally because I don't feel good and I like something's off, or I'm like in a mood, or I'm just like feeling lazy, and then I like don't feel like as accomplished in the morning. So I highly recommend setting those little goals for yourself because they just make me feel a lot better. Next, I have like a lot of stars around it, limit screen time. I have noticed that I'm starting to feel really like icky, I guess is the word to use, after I've been on my phone for a while. And it's normally because I'm on TikTok and I'm just scrolling, and I need to stop doing that. but I get sucked in, and I don't know how TikTok does it, but they just suck me in, and I just keep scrolling, and I just feel awful. Like, right before I go to bed, I'll be scrolling, and I'm like, ugh, like, I get the icks, like, ugh, like, I don't know. So I'm trying to work on that. I do have, like, the screen time thing on my phone where it, like, after, like, 30 minutes, it pops up, and it's, like, screen time, and then you can ignore it. And I need to stop ignoring it because I, like, hit ignore every 15 minutes, and then next thing I know, like, 2 hours has passed by. So I am trying to work on that. If I find any way, like, around it, I'll let you know. If I, like, find any, like, tips or anything that, like, helps me not be on TikTok for that long, I will 100% let you know, because I need to stop doing that. So if you have any tips, let me know, because I need to stop doing that. So, but yeah, limit screen time, especially too when you're, like, studying or when you're on, like, a screen for a while, even if it's, like, for work, if it's not TikTok or social media, just, like, taking a break from it and, like, looking at something else. So my setup is my laptop and a window. So even if I'm, like, studying, I'll just, like, take 5 minutes and I'll just, like, stare out the window into nothing, and I'll just, like, let my eyes kind of, like, adjust. But yeah, I just am starting to notice that I feel really icky after I've been looking at a screen for too long. So I am working on that and limiting my screen time. The next thing I have is positive self-talk. I am pretty sure we have talked about this every single episode, because I just think it is super duper important. And when I feel good, I definitely have that positive self-talk. When things are going right, I have positive self-talk, and I just need to work on keeping that positive self-talk when I'm not feeling good and when I'm feeling stressed. And I think I was able to do that this past week, and that's why I'm feeling good going into finals, because I'm having that positive talk where I'm like, I know I've studied, I know I listened to lectures, like, I know I'm gonna do well in these exams. And so I think that talk has really just helped me, like, feel more confident going into this stuff, and just, like, have this, like, aura about myself where I'm like, yeah, I got this, like, I feel good. Like, I think also too, like, just, like, coming to terms with, like, if you don't do well, like, I had that one exam and I did not do as well as I thought I did, and just coming to terms with it. Like, if I get a B in that class, the world will not end. It is fine. Like, I will continue to live, I will continue to graduate college, I will get a job after college. Like, it's fine. It's also my political science class, which isn't even my major, it's my minor. So, like, you pick and choose your battles, but I think having that positive self-talk has really made me feel a lot better going into finals week, and hopefully ending out finals week on a good note. But I definitely think having this positive self-talk has made me feel good, and it makes me feel good just in general. Next, we have find things that make you happy, big and small. So this kind of goes back to setting goals. I think we need a balance between the small things that make you happy and the big things that make you happy, if that makes sense. So, like, something small that makes me happy is, well, I'm just talking about making my bed in the morning because I'm sitting right next to it, and that's all I can think about. Is, so, like, a small thing that makes me happy is when I make my bed in the morning. A big thing that makes me happy is, there's a lot. The first thing I thought of was shopping, and that gets a little tricky, because if you shop too much, then you have no money, and then having no money makes me sad, and that's not something that makes me happy. So let me think. Yeah, like, I can think about these little things. Like, little things that make me happy is, like, when I get to FaceTime my dog. And I guess, okay, here, we can use this. So a small thing that makes me happy is, like, FaceTiming my dog. A big thing that makes me happy is seeing my dog in person, which I get to do after finals. So having this, like, balance of, like realistic things that make you happy. Like, I've noticed too that, like, when I have something coming up and I have something to look forward to, I'm just, like, super excited for it and, like, super happy. So, like, with my exams, I know Friday after I take my exam, like, I'm going to come back to the apartment, finish up packing, and head to the airport. And so I'm really looking forward to taking this exam, because I know after it's gonna be great, you know? So, like, having stuff like that, I hope that made sense. It made sense in my head. But, like, even, like, something not as big, so, like, something smaller is, like, I still haven't gone to the aquarium, and I think I talked about it, like, months ago, like 2 months ago. Still haven't gone, but I got sick. So I would like to blame it on that I got sick and I didn't go. But like having something to look forward to that makes you happy. Like I think it was for midterms, I like told myself I was going to go to the aquarium at the end of the week after I took like all my exams, and then I got sick and I didn't feel like going anymore. But I was really looking forward to taking my exams and then getting to reward myself by going to the aquarium. So it's like little things like that, like small things that make me happy, or going on walks. I'm trying to think of a big thing that makes me happy. Like I'm really struggling. Oh, like going out to dinner. I love going out to dinner. When I don't have to make food, super happy. I love that. And so a small thing that I look forward to is making my bed and like rewarding myself. Like after I've been studying for a while, like I'll go outside, get some fresh air, or I'll call my mom and be like, Mom, where's Lily? I want to see the dog. My dog's name is Lily, by the way. And then like a big thing that makes me happy is rewarding myself at the end of the week. So if that looks like going to Chipotle to get dinner, or going to the aquarium, which I still haven't done and I still kind of want to do, or, going home for the week, like rewarding yourself and finding things that make you happy, I think is super important to making you feel good and being in a good mood and all that fun stuff. With that said, though, I am getting back. Well, that's all I have on my list. So with that said, I will be getting back to studying for finals. I will say I am feeling actually pretty good about my exams. I studied a lot this morning and yesterday, and I'm feeling so much better. So hopefully my exams go well. By the time you're listening to this, I will have already taken them. So fingers crossed they went well. I could use the positive vibes if you want to send them anyway, even though it's over. But I am looking forward to going home. And so what's really getting me through these exams right now is the thought of being in my bed at home with Lily and just like cuddling up with her. I'm so excited for that. And my dad's cookies, like freshly baked cookies, like he gave me some for Thanksgiving, but they weren't like fresh out of the oven. Like I am looking forward to that so much. And seeing my friend Sophia, and seeing my friend Riley, and seeing my other friend Sophia, and seeing Eloise, like, oh, I'm just so excited to go home and be by the beach. Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. I need to get back to studying. But I hope if you are in a feel-good mood, these things are able to help you stay there and ride that wave of being in a good mood a little bit longer. If you're not feeling great and you're not in a great mood and you're trying to get out of that funk, I hope you are able to take some of these things and they are able to help you. But just know life is like surfing on a wave. The good times will come soon, I promise. And I would say good luck with finals, but by the time you're listening to this, I hope everyone is done with finals, because that would just be awful if you're not. That's like way too close to the holidays. So hopefully finals went well for you if you had them, but if you had just a stressful period of time, I hope that is now over and it got better. But if not, it will get better. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And yeah, I feel like that's all I had to say. I'm glad I got that off my mind and I got to take a little study break and record this episode. But I will be getting back to finals, so hopefully they go well. Wish me luck for my exam on Friday. Ugh, yay. But then I get to go home. So, pros and cons. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.